You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Check us out on social media. Facebook and Instagram, Rainier Avenue Radio.world, and on Twitter at Rainier Ave Radio.
God is Rainier Avenue Radio.world, your favorite community radio station. We're putting out all kind of inputs for you in your community. So come on and listen to us and tune us in. Get on our Facebook, Instagram, and all. As we're doing it right here for you in your community with Rainier Avenue Radio.world. And God is an inspiration of gospel music. Also, we're doing a lot of different things in your community. We give out free food. We give out a lot of things in the community. We do a lot of shows. We do a lot of things on the sports part, and we want you to come on out and tune us in and come to the community, and we do a lot of things in your community. So make sure you go to our website, Rainier Avenue Radio.world, and also go to the God Is website and look us up and see what we do in your community, something maybe you might like. So come on by and check us out from 11 to 2. Free food giveaway.
Greetings. This is your host, DJ Neftali, Rainier Avenue Radio.world, the best DJ in the Seattle area. You can catch me every Monday at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Like I said, this is DJ Neftali, the best reggae in Seattle, Washington, the best radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Mom. Right?
Tune in to Real Estate and Money every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3 here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Join your hosts Violetta Strash with John L. Scott Kent North and Tina Lombard with Guaranteed Rate Affinity. They'll help you navigate the waters of our volatile real estate market and offer you some guidance on how to make your hard-earned money work to make your dreams come true. Learn about current trends, get tips on financial matters, and have fun, interactive discussions about your home inside and out. That's Real Estate and Money.
Africans kidnapped and brought to the shores of what is now Brazil, never surrendered their love, faith, or culture. From generation to generation, the connection of Brazil to the motherland has continued. Join Dance with Dora and special guests for Brazilian Connection 2021, a music and dance experience exploring themes of love, transformation, culture, and connection through Afro-Brazilian dance and its cousins. Live at Langston Hughes Performing Arts Institute, Saturday, December 18th at 7 p.m. Light Brazilian refreshments to follow the show. Tickets on Eventbrite.
You know you can't get enough of Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
All right, welcome to another edition of Monday Night Sports. I'm Rick DuPree, Dupe, your host, and we're here to talk Seahawks football tonight. If you're a Seahawks fan, hey, couple wins in a row, you got to love that. Still a lot of work to be done, but before we get to that, I was running down trying to watch the Golden State Warriors game. Steph Curry, as you probably know if you're a basketball fan, approaching Ray Allen's all-time three-point record. Ray Allen is number one in NBA history with 2,973 three-pointers. Steph Curry is at 2,972. He's one three-point away from tying Ray Allen. That Golden State just went up over Indiana 102-100 with 13 seconds left. And so he is one away. So I just want to acknowledge that I'm a huge basketball fan, NBA fan, Steph Curry fan in particular. And I will admit this. I didn't think, I was like, there's nobody, he's just an anomaly. There's nobody like him. And I remember they were comparing, they being media, whoever, comparing Trae Young, down in Atlanta with him. And I had not really seen Trae Young at, I think he went to Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, oh, no way, this guy can't be, and I actually went on the air, not having seen him really play very much, if at all. But again, as a little guy slight, he's not going to be able to. Hey, Trae Young is a guy who may at some point, come close to these two guys, Ray Allen and Steph Curry. But no, just nobody greater as far as a shooter than Steph Curry. What he does, just absolutely amazing. Looks like Golden State's going to win. There's 3 seconds left. It looks like in the game. But anyway, just want to acknowledge that Steph Curry. So his next game, if the game does not go into overtime, Golden State wins here. He does not hit another 3-pointer. He is one away from the all-time NBA record. He has 2,972, one behind Ray Allen. And as you take a look, this picture behind me, that's it, right there. That's Ray Allen when he was with the Sonics. And if I'm not mistaken, that shot, I can't remember if it was a final game of that season against Denver. But I believe that shot was when he set the single season record at the time. And so anyway, Steph Curry on his way to being the all-time 3-point shot king in the NBA. If it doesn't, it looks like I'm trying to wait to see if the game's going to end. Now it says 2 seconds left. But anyway, we'll find out and get more on that. Before. Yeah, thank you. There he is. 1 3-pointer away. Daniel, you are the man. Look, as I speak it's showing there on the screen. You are the man, Daniel B. Good job. Okay, let's turn our attention toward the Seahawks. Seahawks with a big win. And when I say big win, just an important win. You have to go in and a game that you should win. The Texans were 2-10. You got to go in. You got to win a game like that. And it was, as you go into the fourth quarter, it still was, a score away basically. But the Seahawks poured it on. And Rashad Penny, I tell you, he yesterday, and granted, I know that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Texans have the worst run defense in the league, or one of the worst, if not the worst. But with that said, there you see, Penny, he ran with some authority. The O-line, gave him some room, but he's a guy who, I think yesterday, and you can go full screen if you want with those highlights, Danny. I'm sure people have seen them, but if you are a fan. But anyway, Rashad Penny ran yesterday like I believe the Seahawks figured he would be coming out of San Diego State. And I want to go back and just take a look. Oh, great kids. Tyler Lockett. I mean, what can you say about Lockett? He is such an incredible player. And but Rashad Penny, I mean, he had some runs where you saw his physical nature running. He appears to be pretty healthy, and a guy that is just if he can stay healthy, number one, and begin to run with that type of authority. And we're going to hear from him in a minute. And he talks about just kind of where he's at in this arc. But I want to remind you of a couple of things. So the Seahawks and people look at the success. I'm one of them that Nick Chubb has had in Cleveland, and the Seahawks took Rashad Penny over Nick Chubb. But just don't forget this. Now, number one, Rashad Penny is a load. He's like 5'10", 220. So low center of gravity. He's a guy who can get it done. And we saw that yesterday. He punished some guys. I mean, from stiff arming guys, throwing them down to the ground, to just putting his shoulder down and making some great runs. But I don't want us to forget what he did at San Diego State. And I don't care, what level you're at, to get numbers like he got his last 2 years, pretty incredible. 14 games his junior year, ran for over 1,000 yards, 1,005, but averaged 7.4 yards per carry, had 11 touchdowns with a long run of 73 yards. Senior year, though, I mean, he just went crazy. 13 games, 2,248 yards, 2,248 yards, 7.8 yards per carry, 95-yard run was his longest run, and he had 23 touchdowns his senior year. Over his career at San Diego State, the 4 years, first couple of years, he didn't carry. His freshman year had a couple of carries. His sophomore year had 61 carries. But in his career, 487 carries, 3,600 plus yards, 7.5 per carry. That's significant. I mean, you look at those numbers, and you certainly can see why the Seahawks were high on him. Time will tell. I've been saying the last few weeks that one of the things the Seahawks have to do is they have to get an every down running back, a guy who can really, really help them in terms of, that offense moving the ball. And, again, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see the remainder of the season if Rashad Penny can be that guy, and then long term, can he be that guy? And the bottom line is you got to stay healthy. But it's interesting. He talks about, we're going to go to his interview in just a moment, but he talks about not only kind of emulating to a certain degree what he's seen in Chris Carson, and a guy who is a punishing runner, but secondly, now having the legend, and he is a legend, in Adrian Peterson, AP, that can do nothing but help him. So tell you what, let's take. I'm looking at the highlights and seeing. Again, Tyler Lockett, man, some great catches. Let's go ahead, Daniel. Let's go to the Rashad Penny interview. And, again, you're listening to Monday Night Sports. I'm Dupe. I want to hear from Rashad Penny, and just coming off a career game, a great game. And then we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about him, and also going to get a chance to hear from Dwayne Brown, from the offensive line. And they certainly did a job yesterday. So let's go to the Rashad Penny cut. Go ahead and play.
To be honest, it's a blessing. Like, to be honest, like, going where I came from, like I said a few weeks ago, never been hurt. And, like I said, your body just reacts certain ways when, I think, getting older. But I'm just blessed and thankful. I mean, these guys never gave up on me. Go out to practice every day and just keep working. And this is the results. And I'm just thankful. I mean, the O-line deserves this more than I do. I mean, them guys went out there and moved the defense line all game, and, they controlled the game. It was just all about the running backs hitting the holes and, pressing and doing all the right things.
Do you have leg cramps, or we saw you on the sideline there doing a bunch of stretching?
Yeah, I'm not used to all that running again. I'm not used to all that running, but yeah. But, amazing medical team we have, what they do, getting us the right fluids in our body just to get us back going. I tip my hats off to everybody. They deserve all this more than I do because, again, I'm just here to just play ball and help win. And, they take care of me and do the right things.
First touchdown run, how important was that block from D. Eskridge? It looked like he really was sprung in there.
Yeah, I went back to the sideline. I told him, I said, man, you made a big boy block right there. I said, how big are you? How tall are you? It's amazing, just seeing him and how he works. I mean, he works every day. Just last week he had a touchdown, and today he makes an important block. Just him being key in all different types of situations is amazing, and see what he can do. I mean, he can play wherever on the field, and, I'm happy to see everybody grow from this.
You talked about physically what the injuries have done. What about mentally? What has that been like?
Mentally, emotional roller coaster. I mean, days where, you just be like, should I continue to play football? And then other days where you just be like, I got to go in and, do what's best for me. Man, it's been hard, hamstring strains, calf strains, but I just put my head down and I just kept moving forward. And, I think that's advice to anybody, who's in the league and battling injuries. And, it's not going the way you really want it to go. But just keep putting your head down and just keep moving forward. I mean, the next day is always a new, brighter day. And that's how I always look at things.
Putting your head down. Does that mean staying off or doing your best to stay off social media?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think social media was the biggest problem my first 2 years. I always focused about what other people thought about me. And I started realizing, half the people really don't know who I am, don't know who Rashad Penny is, don't know what Rashad Penny do with his day, doesn't know what I think about. At the end of the day, I'm still human, and everybody else who get hurt and, go on social media and look their names up and see what people are saying about them. It could be the worst things possible, and it can tear somebody down. And that's what it did to me a few years ago. But, now it's like you're numb to it. And then now it's like you don't care about it no more because that's not who you are and that's not who I am. And, I'm to be honest, I'm really not satisfied with how I played because I know what I can do, and I'm pretty sure everybody else know what I can do. It was just all about staying on the field for me, and I'm just thankful I came out of this game injury-free.
Given all that, what was the feeling like when you turned the corner there and knew you were going to score a touchdown there in the first touchdown?
I've been telling myself, start running more aggressive and, just hitting the holes. If nothing is there, just hit it. And it was amazing to hold there. So it was just all about hitting it and trusting your block, and then, just one-on-one with a safety. And one thing, these guys does a great job here is teach us, like, when it's a one-on-one with a safety or a corner, they're not going to tackle you. And it's something I've learned from watching Chris, and now having Adrian Peterson in the room. Watching his highlights a few days ago, just looking at what he do different in the run game. So try to mimic a little bit of that.
You get the start and unfortunately get hurt on the first carry. Were you wondering at that point if this opportunity was going to come? Did you ever think like this is it or anything? Or?
Not really, because I knew it wasn't as bad as what it may seem. I came back and played. I could have finished the game, and I could have played a few weeks ago. It was just more so just making sure my body is right. Again, it sucks because I've never been through this before, so it's just something new, and it's repetitive. So, and I'm doing everything right, taking care of my body, doing all the little things, but it's just your body tends to shut down on you sometimes, and you can't control that. You can't control anything that happens.
What or who made you get off social media and realize it was damaging?
What and who? To be honest, it just helped out better for me mentally. I think.
What made you change this attitude? I'm done with it. Was there something in particular?
I just feel like people don't know who you are, so you get to look and see what people say, and that what kind of bothered me a few years ago. But I think now I've grown, and I come to realization that some people really don't know who I am and don't know what I do, and don't know how hard I work to get to the position where I'm at now.
These past 2 weeks, it seems like you've really been able to show your all-around skill set. I know it was last week, but the big block and the blitz pickup and a couple other nice blocks and pass protection. What's been the key for you there? It seems like that's an area you've really improved, even with not having a lot of snaps in the field.
The crazy thing is, with the pass protection, I've always wanted to do it. Like, it was always a want-to for me. College, unfortunately, I didn't do it as much. And, it's a want-to, and that's something I really wanted to get better at, because it keeps you in the game longer, and it gives you more chances, more opportunities to play. Travis does an amazing job. To be honest, he's taught me a great way of pass protection, and I think he does an amazing job at what he do. So I watch him every day. We do blocking drills, with Chad, run back coach, and Travis leads in, and he does an amazing job at what he do. So I try to mimic and try to do some sort of things he does.
What was it like watching that blitz pickup in the film room on Monday or whenever that was with the rest of the team?
Man, I'd sell out anything for three, man. I know he's going to make the pass as long as the blocking is there. I know he's going to do something magical as long as everything is there, and just having him alongside, helps out us a lot in the long run.
What's the best advice that he's given you in pass protection, Travis?
Stay with the guy, keep moving, strike first. That's the first thing. You want to get your hands on them before they get their hands on you.
Was there a point this week where you knew you were going to have this big role in this game?
Just practice hard every day, every week, and just continue to keep rolling, and just trying to be available. I think that's the most important thing for me. I'm just thankful that I came out injury-free, knowing that that was the case, and knowing that I'm not out here just to get hurt on purpose.
There you have it, Rashad Penny, career game, and time will tell. Time will tell if he can turn into that guy that every down back to the Seahawks need. You're listening to Monday Night Sports. I'm Dupe, and big win for the Seahawks in the sense that keeps them in the hunt. It's a long shot. It's a long shot, but at this point, at 5-8, you want to, can they run the table? Can they run the table and finish out, these last 4 games and finish out, with the winning record? Even if they don't make the playoffs, I think that makes a big statement. And, for this team, looking to next season. But, they're going to have to figure out how to come together and be more consistent, because even, looking at the scoring summary, you were what was the score? It was 19-13 in the fourth quarter, and they scored at the drive, and then Gerald Everett touchdown, pass, but that was at 7:28 to go in the fourth quarter. So it was a 6-point game up until that point. And then a couple minutes later, Rashad got the 47-yard touchdown run. So yeah, it's going to be important for, the Seahawks. I mean, I've always said this. Number one, you got to have talent, which they do. There's no question. I think on every NFL roster, you got talent. But the Seahawks have a lot of talent. Number two, you got to stay healthy. And you're going to deal with injuries throughout the season, regardless of who you are. The key is, can you play through those? Can you play through those? Can you play through those injuries? And that's going to be really, really important. And then the third thing is you got to be lucky. And so right now the Seahawks, they're going to need some luck. They're going to need some teams to win games that they shouldn't and knock some teams out that are ahead of the Seahawks for them to have a chance. I think they mathematically still do have a chance. They're kind of way down in the hunt. But anyway, with that said, let's take a couple of minutes. Yeah, we got some time. Let's take a couple of minutes. I want you to hear from the big guy, Dwayne Brown. We never get to hear from offensive linemen, but let's hear from him and hear what he has to say. And then we'll have a couple minutes coming out to just talk about, what's next.
It's a great feeling. Obviously, it's a young team we going against. They play very hard. They got a lot of talent. We started out a little rough. And it was a tough matchup. We just put our foot on the gas a little bit in the second half. It's a real feeling for me being back. It's my first time back in the building since 2017. So good to see some familiar faces, but good to get the win.
Dwayne, you've been around Rashad Penny for a number of years now. He's been through a lot with the injuries. What does it mean to all you guys to see him have a game like this?
It means a lot. Rashad has a lot of ability, and he got, showed some flash to that early on. Had some injuries that set him back, and just trying to work his way through that. It's very challenging. To be a young player and go through that kind of injury. I think he's got his confidence back. I think you saw that last week. This week we really fed him the ball a lot, and he ran with vengeance. You saw his demeanor. And it was great to see. We really rallied behind him and we were able to put a lot of yards on the ground. Not too much. I'm kind of far removed from it. It's been 4 years. I've really been established in Seattle. But it was wild. Coming back and just being in the facility. Like I said, saw a lot of familiar faces, and it was a little surreal at first. But then I just you lock in and it's another game.
What about the fact that you all had a large number of fans here? Do you feel like almost like a home game?
Feel good. The 12s, they travel well, man. And we knew they would show up. We saw them at the hotel. We saw them, we knew they would show up big. Much love to our fans, great fans, and yeah, it did feel like a home game, so we're appreciative of them.
See that 0 in the sack home?
What's that?
0 in the sack home, is that nice to see?
What 0 is that? Oh, yeah, it was great to see. And they got some good pass rushes. Jacob Martin, Brenner, the young guys, they're really good pass rushers. Malik Collins, they got a lot of talent on the defensive line. Russ did a really good job, getting the ball out quick, and being elusive at times. Shout out to the O-line. The O-line did a good job up front. Like I said, they had a hungry D-line, so they challenged us, but we were able to establish a run and set up a lot of passes off of that and sit them down in pass protection when we needed to. And Russ made things happen. Lockett, heck of a day. Everyone played well.
And how much of these young small pass rushes that the Texans put up against y'all remind you a little bit of Mathis and Sweeney when you were here?
Those some Hall of Fame talent, with Mathis and Sweeney. But again, a lot of talent, man. Jacob Martin, I was with him in Seattle. Came here, had a lot of potential in Seattle, and he's really worked his game a lot. And I told him after the game, how proud of him I am. He's really established himself to be, a really, really good player. So, and then, they're different rushes. Grinner's more of a bigger guy, more of a power guy. So they complement each other well.
What was your view of those two Penny touchdown runs?
I can't remember the first one. I remember the second one. The second one, I mean, you know, you kind of in a 4-minute situation, you know, and you want to run the ball, you want to run the clock out. To break open a big run like that, it just does so much for us up front. I know it did a lot for him and just his confidence, you know, being able to break open a big run like that. Again, I just can't say enough about him. You know, like I said, all the adversity he's had to go through the last couple of years to come and perform the way he did today, it means a lot.
Did you talk to Jake Curhan before today's game at all?
A little bit. Jake has had he's seen some action this year, so this wasn't he wasn't too nervous. I think he was more nervous last week having to play left guard than right tackle. He's comfortable out there. You always have nerves though, you know what I mean. But I just told him, trust his ability, trust his preparation, and I got to watch the film, but I feel like he did a pretty good job.
I know after last week's win, he addressed the team and said, hey, we're not dead yet. You guys have 2 wins in a row. Getting a little momentum. How's the team feeling about how you're playing and what you can do in these next 4 games?
Well, feeling pretty good. We got a resilient group. You know what I mean? We got a lot of great veteran leadership, a lot of young guys that are, ready to play and always ready for whatever challenge comes. We got a big test coming up next week, you know what I mean? And so we're just taking this thing 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time, just trying to, prepare every day, be the best we can be every day. And like I said, next week is a big challenge for us, so looking forward to it. We're going to enjoy this win tonight on the way back to Seattle and then get to work tomorrow.
Talk about how much Russell controlled the game today.
He did a great job, man. I mean, we kind of went up tempo quite a bit, keeping them on their heels, and he did a great job getting us to the right checks, plays that he liked. I mean, he's a heck of a player. He's been through a lot of adversity this year, injuries and coming back, and I think now it's he showed everybody again just who he is. So I'm just happy to block for him.
That was Dwayne Brown, and so positive, everything positive in Seahawks land, and with 4 games left to go, you got, and 2 of them, will be real big tests. You got the Rams next week, and then the Cardinals. They finish off the season January 9th against the Cardinals, and in between those 2 games, you've got the Bears on December 26th and the Lions on January 2nd. So will be interesting to see how they finish out. But again, I'm encouraged. Time will tell. Is Rashad Penny? Is this an indicator that he's turned a corner? And the big key is going to be, he's got to stay healthy. I was kind of looking at his stats, and career stats. And obviously, big game yesterday. But over his 4-year career, he's got 1,000 yards, averaging 5.1 a carry, 7 total touchdowns. That's big. Last year did not play very much, only had 11 carries. But, again, his first year, 85 carries, averaged 4.9, so basically 5 yards a carry. His second year, 65 total carries, averaged 5.7 a carry, had 3 touchdowns. And this year, is averaging 5 as well. So time will tell. Time will tell. But if these next 4 games he can stay healthy and, kind of show glimpses of what we saw, yesterday, I think that changes in my mind, because in my mind, the number 1 priority was going to be, look for a running back in the offseason, whether through the draft or trade or whatever the case may be. That may not be the case where he may, because again, like I said, he's a big guy, 5'10", 5'11", 220. And he talked about his mentality shifting and running like he knows he can run, delivering the blow. And I think of a guy like Sweetness, Walter Payton. He was a guy who said, I'm going to deliver that blow first. And he did. So time will tell. A couple of quick things. Lit Line is next, so don't go anywhere, but want to remind you our high school basketball season starts this Friday night. We'll be at Seattle Academy, and we will be at their Basketball Mania event. The Seattle Academy girls with a 3-1 record. They take on Cedar Park Christian, I believe it is. And it is Cedar Park Christian. Actually, they have 1 game before that playing Northwest School tonight. But at this point, they're 3-1. The boys also with the record of 3-1. And they will host Cedar Park Christian as well. So the girls' game, you can see it, listen to it right here on Rainier Avenue Radio, 6:30, followed by the boys' game at 8 o'clock. and we will see what happens there. But again, that is the start of our high school basketball coverage, and then after the new year, we'll be bringing you both Metro League and more Seattle Academy games as well, right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. Well, that does it for me for this edition of Monday Night Sports. Lid Line is next, so don't go anywhere. You've got the team in the wings waiting to entertain you. So keep it right here. I should say stay tuned, keep it here, whatever. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the show. I will talk to you next week. Until then, peace and God bless.
This is Paul.